Hello. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes, the mic is on. Nice. So, first stream in over 6 months. Shame on me. But time flies, as you all know. But here we are, so that's what matters. And I also have a very good excuse because I did not have any internet for around 10 to 12 days, I think, since late last year, because there was some kind of interference going on here. And that's why I am only making the first Zinuary themed stream today and not earlier. I had originally planned to do that a little bit earlier, but here we are. And, well, it is what it is, right? Let me tune that music down a little. So there's something new happening today because I'm streaming on Substack for the first time ever. I never did that before. And I am curious to see how that goes. So hello guys, if you joined on Substack, I think there's a couple people in there. So hi, nice to see you, or nice that you see me. And the only thing that didn't work now is that I couldn't combine the chats, so I don't have here's my chat, and I don't have the Substack chatters included in my overlay. I don't know how that works. I couldn't figure it out right now, but I have the Substack chat open, so if you have a question or if you want to just say hi or tell me something nice, you can do that, and I'm going to read it out loud for everyone who is on YouTube. And I'll then hopefully be able to figure out how that works next time. I decided to try Substack just because I like to try new things, and because I enjoy trying new platforms, but also because Twitch hasn't been really there's not been much going on Twitch lately. Let's say it like that. And I think the way I do my streams and the kind of art I make is kind of not what people on Twitch are looking for at the moment. I don't know. It's a lot of with a certain style of art that is not what I'm doing. So yeah. Well, we'll see how this goes. Good Gloom, hello. Good to have you on today. So, cheers. So what's going to happen today? First of all, in case you did not hear about this earlier, my January event, like art event or challenge Zinuary started, or is happening right now. It's a challenge that I came up with, where everyone who likes to take part creates a zine, or at least like a concept for a zine, or comes up with ideas for a zine within the month of January. And I already have Discord opened here, as you see, and you guys are so active in there. I'm really happy to see it. It's crazy. I also made this video on YouTube in case you didn't hear about it. This is working great for an introduction, I guess, if you would like to find out what Zinuary is about. But yeah, we're in the middle of it. And as usual, I am a little bit late to it, and I'm going to start working on my own zine today together with you. I want to show you my first steps into making this zine. I hope it's going to work out, because starting with something completely new is always a bit exciting, or it makes me a bit nervous, to be honest, because there's a risk of failing, or there's a risk of not getting things right from the start. I remember I had that once before on a stream where I wanted to start a concept for an artwork and it just didn't work. Like my brain couldn't wasn't able to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and it really sucked. And I think I then ended the stream after 20 minutes or 30 minutes of helplessly trying to figuring stuff out. But I think that's not what's going to happen today, so no worries. yeah, like I said, you guys are super active, and my original plan was to go through, like on stream, to go through your work, like to check out what you share. But I think I won't be able to get into everything or to share everything that you shared on the Discord already, because it's just too much. So I think I'm going to scroll in the channel a little bit and pick one or two things here and there that that I see, and maybe I can give you some feedback. At least that's what my plan was. And then I'm going to get into my own zine idea. I'm going to show you what my original idea was. And yeah, we're going to find out what I'll do as my first steps. All right, so let me know how the first days of the year are treating you, if you had a good start to the year. Let me know what you're working on right now. If you have any questions, so if you're new here on the stream, you know already that I am very, very happy to answer any kind of questions about my work or what I'm working on the stream, or general questions about life as an artist. Usually after a while the standard question about AI comes up. Maybe we can avoid that today, but if you want to discuss it, feel free. So let's see what you guys have been doing. Let's take a look at your work, because I've seen some really high quality ideas and some really high quality drawings already. Ruth is of course one of the very active members. I saw Ruth, saw you've been sharing a lot already, and your idea was already finished. Like your concept was already finished at the 1st of January. So respect for that. And you will do something about elements. You arrange them all the drawings to get a base, and you will redraw and adjust them in a manga outline 2-color Reso print optic. Reso print optic sounds fantastic to me, honestly. That's a very good idea. And you've been thinking about the action card features. So I think I already gave you some feedback about the action cards. I think I would be a bit careful about cluttering the whole canvas too much. And I think you later on you already shared some update where you had, like, where you worked with icons. Here you are. That's your inspiration, I guess. The coloring style inspiration, yeah. I think two-color approaches are really great for finding. Where's the music gone? Music gone for you as well? No, just for me. Funny. There it is again. I think it's a great approach to, especially when you are learning to combine colors. So when you want to try to, or train to find color combinations that work for you, or that fit your style, or that could maybe become your way of how you color things. I like your signature combinations. For me, it's only purple, as you all know. No, I think it's a great way to experiment and to not overload yourself. So instead of going in with like a full color range of millions of colors, you only pick 2 and stick with them. I think that's first of all a great idea. And of course, when you want a Reso print, or when you want to create an effect or a style that it reminds of Reso prints, there's a limitation coming through the technique that that is already a limitation that you have to work with. So that's perfect. And honestly, I think your sketches look really cool. I like your layouts. You already put them in the zine layout to create a zine from a big A4 paper that you then fold and cut. So if anyone wonders about the why the image is on the wrong side. Let me include that here so we can take a look at your work here. And I like that you went with the whole icons idea, like a key, right? So here, these are your icons you came up with, because I think that's always, so when you think about an illustration like a map, you can't clutter the whole map with your descriptions or with your explanations of what you actually see on the map. And so you create a key that explains it somewhere on the map in the corner usually, and then you just work with the icons, and the brain very quickly learns what means what and then makes the connection itself, so you don't have to do that all the time. And that's the same for an illustration like this. I mean, if you go for like a trading card system where you have these icons here, you can explain them once and then you don't have to clutter your illustration all the time. That of course goes for the same, like if you have like some kind of meter, so you have like values, like I don't know, strength is here and agility is here or so. You can put icons here and don't have to like write the word all the time. So I think that's a good call to go with that. And I really love your compositions, like how you play with the double spread thing with a kind of symmetry. I think the element here in the back creates a symmetry or like some grounding for the artwork, and then you have the symmetry with the arm here that they almost touch here in the middle. I think it's really nice. So, and here as well, of course, here you have a rotational symmetry where you rotated the figure on the other side, which is kind of a bit like a playing card technique or playing card visuality. It also worked with this kind of rotational symmetry. So I don't have much to criticize. I'm not a big fan of the typography here. I think it's not that easy to read. I read a C here, for example, so I think that is not on the same level or the same quality you have in the scribbles or in the concepts of your illustrations. That's just my opinion on that, but yeah, I think it's worth to maybe invest some time to improve the typography there. Okay, very nice, really great work. Did you share some? I mean, whoa, what was that? You guys posted so much. I should have like went through the channel before starting the stream. I'm really sorry if I'm scrolling past forward and back all the time now, but here's some of your more like work further down the road. So you went with 3 colors apparently, or is that supposed to be a mix of blue and now what's blue and yellow makes green, right? That is of course possible as well. So get 2 colors and then mix them so that they create a 3rd color. Yeah, nice. I think you could work with a bit more contrast on the black outlines, like some solid areas. Spending a lot of time. Oh, this works better. This is already great. Here you have the texture in there. Oh, this is perfect. That's what I wanted to say. Maybe you're going to add it here as well, but here you have in the, like on the arms, on the upper arms, you have these dark black areas with the texture that adds more depth. And I think that's great. Looks really beautiful. And I like the washed out, printed, like almost stamp, washed out stamp effect. Very nice work. Can I turn it here in Discord? No, can't. Cool. Should have scrolled down to see what your current status is before criticizing your work. But yeah, maybe I'll start. Let me start here on the lower end to see what's been shared last. Good Gloom. Yeah, I also think the double thread idea is great, and it's such a simple technique, right? You can, if you have to design or lay out a double spread with an illustration, this creating like a kind of symmetry, at least like on some basic elements, maybe in the background or so, immediately draws the viewer or the reader in. So if you have like any magazine layout, double spread, that's always a great technique to try, at least to experiment with. Hey Aries, how's it going? So of course I also shared a prompt list. I don't know how many of you actually got into the prompts, but Foxtrot Unicorn got into it here with I think that's the first prompt, which was it Small World? Let me check. I should know my own prompts, right? But I don't right now. First prompt was oh no, Snapshot was the first prompt. Was it no, it was yesterday's. Yesterday's was collectible, right? Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. Maybe I think it was collectible. Yeah, nice, interesting graphic work here. I like the colors. The textures are really cool. I like the combination of graphic elements with hand-drawn. Also very graphical additions, like the little, like almost like the infographic styled elements. I'm reading what's on there. Ah, yeah, it is collectible, right? It's like the little surprise bags here. What's it called? Like the blind bags. Only 12 bags available. I think in terms of typography, there's a couple of things where you could create a clearer hierarchy, or not necessarily a hierarchy, but I think like just clearer spacing. But I love the whole idea. I'm just thinking, that's the funny thing with prompts, right? You have a great idea, you like it, and then next day the next prompt comes and you have to actually move away from this. But I love this idea of bagging or putting matter from a newly discovered star into like collector's bags and then making them like a rare collectible. I'm just thinking like there's so much you could do with such an idea, like actually showing how it's bagged, how it's collected and bagged. Could make like a whole funny science fiction story out of that. But yeah, cool. I love it. Hasenprinzessin, nice nickname. You can go in the search function and filter to see only a channel and a person. Oh, really? That's like here? And then you have to, like, if I want to say what Hasenprinzessin is doing. No, that's not right. I can, no. Ah. Gotta work somehow, but I don't know how. You can guide me through that, let me know. So, Hasmotes is doing Polaroids. Okay. With a nice, that looks like almost vector illustration, but I don't think, I'm not sure, maybe it's just the resolution, but it looks like it's hand-drawn lines with a very clean and vector-like, I think here on this part the lines are a bit looking more hand-drawn. Yeah, cool. You fooled me for a second there. Cool. I mean, I'm a sucker for architectural drawings, like facades of houses. So obviously, I am into that kind of stuff. Just thinking about, like, or did you ever try to add some to not make the house completely black? Just thinking if the contrast between the background, which is a little nuanced with a blue light emitting from the stars, or the stars emit, that is I mean, if you're aiming for like this kind of paper cut, very 2D, like if it's a sheet of paper, like, or like chalk white lines drawn on a sheet of paper, I think that works great. I'm just wondering if there's a way to make it a little bit more three-dimensional. Oh, it's cool. It's interesting. Yes, please share more in the future. Did you share? Ari's behind on prompts. Well, that's okay. You can do the prompts whenever you have time. Doesn't have to be until end of January anyway, so. Been making some fingerless gloves for husband's birthday. Oh, happy birthday to your husband then. Hope you have a good day. I think you got intimidated by all the fabulous illustrations in Discord. Yeah, it's I think it can be intimidating, but I would always say that first of all, you don't need to be intimidated. This is for really everyone on every level of art or skill or whatever. So I think I would try to not be intimidated, but rather be motivated by people sharing high quality work, because that's great inspiration, right? So you can always get inspired by that rather than discouraged. But I definitely know how you feel. But I also definitely encourage to please share whatever you do. Could be extremely basic, but we can always take it from there and develop it. So can't decide. I always like what really pops here is from these pics, process pics from President Park here. I read that you're playing a lot of Yakuza lately, and you've been taking screenshots of your favorite buildings to sketch. And now you tweaked the style into this half-tone print, like newspaper print style. And I really love this idea. It's so simple, in a great way, right? Because it's like there's nothing complicated to the idea. It's just something you love. You love the game Yakuza. I didn't play a lot of Yakuza, unfortunately. I should have. Maybe I should catch up on that sometime. But I played some Yakuza 0 or so. I think that's what it's called. Because it's in Game Pass. But this is so straightforward. It's like you have a game that you like, and you have an environment in the game that you like these buildings, and then you make some art out of it and take it as inspiration for this project, which I really love to see, because this is like a good example for how simple yet unique your idea can be for a zine. Yell here, Junior Yell here. Is that your name? You were a little behind. You need to put from and then the name. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, let me try that with President Park then. From. Like this, right? Okay, that did not work. I feel like a boomer. I'm sorry. Like maybe like this. No, somehow. It's okay. Wish Discord had an easier way, like tapping the name and then, or maybe it's just on desktop or so. Well. So, President Park, this is your first go at anything like this. Well, that's interesting because it already looks really cool. Like, the color combination works well. And you've been, I think you've been sharing a bit more. Very lo-fi, yes. You think it could use some yeah, okay. I think there's a lot of potential, first of all, with for the typography there. So I think through some tweaks in typography, you could do a lot to give it some Let me see if you shared some more so I get to look at your most recent work. Yeah, this is interesting. So you're struggling with a double page spread and would appreciate a bit of design advice. I think that there's too much text on the left. Would it better to have roughly the same amount on both sides? Possibly English text on one side, Japanese on the other. Okay. Yeah. Let me see if there's a... No, that was the last version. Oh no, here's something else. So we've been working on the front cover. The illustrations, or I don't know if you could call it illustrations, but the images of the buildings look really fine. I feel like... Let me just grab this here and so I can draw on it. So I feel like you could get the whole written part blend into the illustration. I'm just calling it illustration, or the image part. So there's I think there's some ways to make the typography part of the image. Because right now there's a big contrast because you just have like a very straight, very strict block of text here. And it's not about the amount of text, it's just about the style, I would say. And I would try to maybe print it and then scan it again and then put it here in a bit of an imperfect way. Maybe like this. Could even make like a little disruption here, like this or so. I think this would really add to the whole vibe of the images and the handmade and scanned lo-fi rough the vibe of this. I don't know if that's, and I don't know, that doesn't work in Procreate. So that's the first thing I would try if I were you. And then, I mean, you worked very well with the white space here already. So you have some nice white space here you can use. I think that works fine. But I feel like there could be a bit more contrast in the text as well. So I feel like even though you have like a clear hierarchy, here's the headline, then you have a second text size which is the second level hierarchy, which is perfect. But I feel like you could make the headline a bit more bold, a bit heavier. So I would try to go for a thicker, like more bolder cut, and maybe even for a braver choice in font. Can be a classic serif font, so I wouldn't say it like has to be like a poster font or something, but I could imagine that there is a more expressive serif and a more like one that has a bit more contrast that would do good here. And if you combine that with this handmade printed and scanned character, guess that would really create a great like a great tension between the whole or on the page and between the image and the text. If you don't want to do that, I would probably go more into the other extreme and make it like as clean and as machinery, like as constructed as possible. So that's the other way you could take. If that doesn't work for you, I would probably cut all hierarchies, so no large font, just this size, this style, and make it as like machine written as possible, like same margins everywhere, like a clear area or a clear placement for all the text, and see how that works, because that could probably be nice as well. And create like some kind of retro futuristic, maybe even typewriter kind of vibe. So that's the two directions I could see this. Hope that is a good input for you. So space before the name. Okay. Sorry that you have to be my tech support. Let me try again. Like I said, a boomer. Let's try with Hasenprinzessin, because I wanted to see if you... No. Somehow doesn't want to do that. It's maybe it's case sensitive. I don't know. So Julian has written the congrats, Julian, you wrote the first comment ever on a Substack stream. Watching this in my edit bay at work. Nobody has to know. Nobody needs to know. Secretly watching the plastic pen. That's the right vibe. I like that. All right. Awesome. Here's one way to treat this challenge as well, with imperfection, which is of course great. Hope it won't turn out like a 5-year-old did the whole thing. Well, there's a thing to making something imperfect on purpose. It's I find that very hard, to be honest. So it's a challenge. I like there's a name for the especially for tattoos, like lazy style or boring style or something. Like there's one tattoo style that's been very en vogue lately, or for a while now, where you have like bad drawings tattooed on purpose. Yeah, I find that not so easy. It's really something that has to look like it's unintentionally bad, but it's of course never unintentional. So I'm curious to see what you did you share anything else yet? Curious to see what you do. But I don't think that's a bad idea. I like the whole approach, of course. No, I think you did not share something yet, so please share away. I'll be glad to take a look. So, oh yeah, I also saw some nice storefronts here by Nika. Finally completed all the sketching process from illustrations. Respect to have that done 1 week into January. That is not what I can say of myself, unfortunately. You're planning on coloring them like the vending machine one. Still not decided if I should use the same color palette for all the illustrations or not. So in terms of suggestions for the color palette, I think it's a really good idea to limit yourself on one color palette for the zine. And there's two very good reasons, in my opinion. First is, obviously, you don't have to come up with a new color palette all the time, so it's less work for you, and you can focus more on the concept and on the drawings themselves and on the on making the zine. Second is that it's consistent, and I like consistency for zine, so I think it's I would suggest, like, if it's a monothematic thing where you only illustrate these beautiful house fronts and they look so cute, it's really great. I think you should maybe try to stick with the color palette and see where this leads you. And you can always, if you're feeling bored after a while, you can always change into a second palette and you split the zine by half or so. One thing I want to say, like I said, I love these illustrations, they look great. One thing I want to say is that I would try to add a little depth, so they are not like too flat composition wise. So I just saw this, I'm just quickly mentioning this. So you have like these plant pots here, and they look very lined up in a very 2D way here in this area. So I would try to go for some falling out of line, and you could maybe there's, I mean, I don't know how much chaos you want in your images. This looks all very tidy and very neat, but you could also have one like fallen over, and then there's a cat playing with it or so. Whatever, you know, I mean, you don't have any animals or people in there, which is just the same. I often do my illustrations, like let the buildings or the scenes be the characters, and not like let them speak or let them do the storytelling part. But still, of course, it doesn't have to be a cat. This looks like a mouse anyway. So so that's what I just saw spontaneously. But apart from that, I mean, this one here, I can't see everything, but this one here, the perspective that looks so cool, and all the details. So you said that this is sketches, like respect for making the sketches this detailed. It's really cool. Yeah. I think sometimes your perspective is a little off, but this could be intentional, so I don't want to kind of over criticize that. I'm just seeing that, for example, here on this house, you have the vanishing point is like pointing here, and this one should be pointing there, but it's pointing there. So that's just what I see here. But I think this could be on purpose as well. So don't feel obliged to follow my follow what I'm saying here. Just see this here and there. But it's totally legit to have this included in the style, of course. Well, it's a bit weird to scribble onto like the photo here, but I hope this is clear. All my message is clear here. But beautiful, great direction. I wanted to. Discord is annoying. I wanted to take a look at this as well. Yeah, cute. Really nice. It's as if the cherry tree is growing out of the vending machine, which is a good idea for my next vending machine illustration, maybe. Yeah, Yell here. Don't worry. I really appreciate that you were trying to help me there. So no worries about that. Aris, you struggled with this Discord search today. So okay, yeah, maybe it's not me or not my Discord. Foxtrot, never thought of that. Meanwhile, going for as much color as possible. That doesn't have to be bad to go for as much color as possible, but in my experience, so I'm the same actually. I also try that from time to time, but my experience from my own artist journey is that it really helps easing your mind as well to limit yourself on a palette. Because you can just focus on something else, and you'll early enough get to a point where you think like, oh, my palette here is a bit limited, I have to add maybe a third color, but then you have like already a strong foundation, hopefully, and it's much easier to then like add a color between or in like as a support of the two you already have. So it's a great technique to learn color palettes. Milerski are doing some robot legs. Okay, that's cool. That's some mech art. Is that your zine topic as well? I'm not sure what you shared earlier. I had so much I can't. Oh, here's Jakob as well. I don't need to criticize Jakob because he's great already. Oh, Foxtrot, you're here as well, right? Yeah, now I know why you mentioned, I already looked at your other piece earlier. Now I know why you mentioned you have a hard time deciding for a limited color palette. But in this case, like what I see here is that colors are very important for your style, right? I mean, it's very central for you, I guess, to work with very strong, very flickering, like battling colors, like the neon direction we have here. Like it's really like a battle of two hues here between the neon pink and green, I guess, and the blue as well, of course. So yeah, I think this would work with limited palette as well, but I of course I see that this is part of your stylistic direction here. But it's cool that you I love how you include the little stories in on your pages here. Very interesting. I would be interested, like, is this like the way you tell these stories, or the way it's written? It's always a bit like some news article or so. So is that like the idea for your zine, that you have these crazy stories packed like in a one kind of news with a very crazy, very flashy layout. So Betty is the one who does the nice black and white food illustrations. I already saw a couple of these. Milevsky, here I have more robot legs and arms in this case, not legs. You're stuck in research for your project at the moment, doing iterations of parts from a visual library. Yeah, that's always great. And in the end, honestly, if you end up with a zine full of robot legs and arms, that's a great topic for the zine as well. So you add to your visual library, you train your muscle memory, you train your artistic brain. So nothing wrong with that. Okay. Is anyone here on the stream live right now who would like to have me take a look at the work? Then let me know, because I'm afraid I can't get into everything. Just have to pick some out. Oh, here's some beautiful scribbles or beautiful drawings. Very nice, cute comic style. Love that. Little character who pops up in a lot of your drawings. He's like a little kid in a cat suit or pajamas. Kind of reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are. Yes, I love that. Please continue working with this character. I love your line work here. Really cool. But yeah, if anyone is wants some further feedback, please let me know and I'll check that out. And I will also, if you ask me on the Discord from now on my next live stream, so I will save a couple of things so I don't have to scroll the Discord all the time, because I am online now and I can can prepare a bit better, not have to do everything from my smartphone connection. Loud Y2K, okay. Intergalactic newsletter. Yeah, that's cool. Love the idea. I think it could work into the Y2K visuality even a bit more. Maybe I think you could be braver also on your typography. So that's as you probably have realized, that's a suggestion I'm giving sometimes, because I just think that through typography you can do so much. So it's like such an extremely powerful tool where there's extreme amounts of potential for illustrators and artists and designers. I feel like you could like I'm thinking like some David Carson experimental craziness. So make it almost hard to read at some points, so that it really becomes just similar to what I had suggested to the guy with the Yakuza buildings before. You could make the copy and the texts part of the artwork, because you have this handmade, rough, gritty visuality here, and your font choice and everything works fine with that, but it's still like it looks like a little bit added on top to me, while I think it could be more part of it by being more experimental. Maybe, for example, let's I'm giving you one example. If we take this part here, let's go back. We take this part here. Yes. So you have this graphic here, of course, and then you have the text block here. You find a way to combine those and to merge those. Maybe just like completely spitballing here, but this is just to give you direction. If you have like one part of the text in one large one of the bubbles, and you connect this bubble to one here and one here, and there's and then we have one here again, and then there's some text here. Maybe you could make like a crazy big for the consumer headline here, and at the other part of the text here make like a I mean the zine will probably be very small, depends on how large you want to print it, but maybe as small as you can go for the description here or so. Just like create more contrast, to create more connection. I think that could really, like the whole layout could benefit from that. You could make it more interesting, more unique. Just an idea, just a thought, so maybe it helps. Okay, I gotta take a quick break now, but I will be back in 2 minutes, and then I will work on my own zine. And in the meantime, if you please don't be afraid to ask if you want me to take a look at your work. Let me know. I'm also going to give you also making a call for submitting your work for feedback on the Discord anyway. After the stream, for my next stream. But yeah, I'm here now, so let me know. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Alrighty, here we go again. Yeah, cool. I'm glad you like the idea, Foxtrot. That's good to hear. So, for my own zine, I'm of course a little bit behind in schedule. I will have to look and see if I can make it until end of January. But my own idea is to do old masters redrawings or repaintings which means I am going to look for old artworks of usually long gone old masters. Old masters is maybe a little bit misleading here. I think I'm more looking for paintings and drawings that I like in museums, but it doesn't have to be like from someone considered as an old master. I think there's even a definition for that, but could be anything I see in a museum that I like and that I find inspiring. And I've been to, or no, first of all, so to explain what old master street drawing is, so the task is to reinterpret the artwork in my own style, and that is something I did before, and I found this very helpful to study the compositions and the way of thinking of painters from, for example, the Renaissance era or from the Baroque era, etc. So, I mean, that's something you can always do nicely when you go to a museum, but redrawing, remaking this is even like goes even deeper, and I always wanted to do that more often. And yeah, here we are. So I thought this would be the theme or the topic of my zine. Joe Stone, Dola Cita Ideale. I don't know. I don't speak Italian. I'm sorry. What's that? The ideal city, I guess. I don't know. Yorgel on Discord. Yeah, sure. I can, of course, take a look. Sorry. Let's do that. Of course. So let me see. So you shared in the Zinuary channel, right? Do you have something rather recent, or? Let me see where I find you. Ah, here you are. Great. The really wide one, yeah. It's indeed a wide one. You're planning to make a zine from your dissertation? Oh, that's cool. Which is about designing an interactive map of an annual local festival. Nice topic. Definitely cool. I want my zine to be used as a physical presentation of the project, because when I finished the work last year, it was no longer possible to add it to the budget, and it was already closed. Okay, I see. What I've set out to do this year is, so your plan is, I guess your plan is to go for some kind of Leporello kind of zine. So you have like a big large plan, and then you have some kind of thing that you're supposed to fold out completely, so it has this these dimensions, right? Let me quickly look at, it's a painting. I gotta say, I'm not very versed in classic arts. The ideal city. Oh, I think I know this. Definitely rings a bell. There seem to be different versions of it. Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, redrawing this would be really cool. Yeah, would be a nice one for the old masters redrawing. But who is this from? Who made this? Piero della Francesca. Okay, nice. Yeah. Leporello Zine Company? You mean a company who prints these? I mean, Leporello is just the way of folding it. So Yeah. Okay. Let me quickly take a look at your work here. First of all, I like the muted colors, so I think it's you're going for a more realistic approach on coloring this, which I think is nice. And it gives me a nice like round more like a it gives me a very kind of consistent and like self-consistent vibe. So that's a good first impression, I gotta say. And I guess you need, or you want to put like a key somewhere. I don't know, maybe in one of the corners, right? For the little icons here. The icons could be a very like, oh look, there's one missing here and here. I think the icons could be very small, depends on how large you print it. Of course, if you print it in, I think A6 per page, it could work. But if you're going for something smaller than A6, it could be very difficult to read them. Oh, unknown master, really cool, interesting. What I'm stumbling a little bit over is the shadows of the buildings here. So you have these solid shadows. I'm not sure right now if these are too distracting. I mean, the information they give you is how tall the building is, obviously. So this here seems to be some kind of church maybe or so, but it seems to be quite large or quite tall because you have a very long shadow here. Or here's the church, obviously. So and to me it looks like it gives a 3D rendered style or a 3D map style, while the way you have the tiles on the roofs, like the very detailed tiles there, give me more like handmade, hand-drawn character, while the shadows look a bit like technical. And I'm not sure if that helps you with consistency on the style, because we have the clouds here, which look very organic and very like pleasing and fluffy. And then you have this hand-drawn, this ribbon here, or this banner with the title. So there's a little bit of a contrast that I kind of a little bit stumble over. So I would probably try to, if there's a way to make this less technical, I think that would help probably. Same goes for the line weight. So you have a very thin line weight compared to, for example, the ribbon here. So if you could bring that on the same level to give this a tiny bit of cartoonish character, you know, I think this could help. Oh, I could press the link. Yeah, that's maybe a good idea. I should do that. Oh, okay. Interactive. All right. I should have pressed that link earlier. So it makes it easier to browse this. Yeah. But this even gives me like, or I think this underlines my opinion I had earlier. So you have this ribbon here, which looks very handmade or hand-drawn, a little bit like cartoonish. And then you have the different line weight on the clouds, and then once again a different line weight, and also a different complexity or grade of detail on the roofs of the buildings. So I would definitely try to go for consistent look there. I mean, I love the little tiles, I love the small details, but you also gotta think about the printing size here. And if you print this too small, the details will kind of get like washed away, or even create some kind of distortion, or you could misread all the small tiles here though. So I would definitely try to find a more or less detailed direction for this. I think that would be very helpful. I think this is probably the main feedback I would give you right now. The shadows, that's just I think that's not the big issue here. I think it's really the consistency and the art style. Of course, I don't know how much influence you have on that, because if this is a 3D rendered thing or so, I'm not sure how much you can do there, how much you can do about that. But if you can experiment in this direction a bit more, I think the whole thing would benefit a lot from that. Just a small thing, but I would be a bit more careful here about the lines on these hatches on the ribbon. I think these interfere a little bit with the title, and I think the title is not super easy to read, and this makes it even harder to read it. So I mean, of course you have, I guess that's just the font you're using, right? So I would try to make this as clear as possible. While of course it's important to follow the shape and the surface of the ribbon. That's fine. That's cool. But I would try to make it to support the readability of this as much as possible. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I have to say about this. I hope this is helpful and you're able to follow this. But yeah, if you have any further questions, or if you're further down the road with this and want to get feedback on an adjusted version, if you want to adjust it this way, of course, absolutely up to you. But if that's the case, let me know and I'd be glad to take another look. But it's an interesting project, and I think the whole direction and the base is good. So you're building on something nice here, and I think that's the most important part, right? So it looks good already, and it still has a bit of potential. So yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for trusting me with this. You shared the size. Oh, it's really large then. Okay, well then, well that's a big one. I think in this case it's okay to go with much detail or many details, but I'd still try to be more consistent on the details. Doomlord, you're going to join the Zine challenge for this January. That's great. Glad to have you on board. Right. Back to the old masters, I guess. So I went to a local museum yesterday morning. It's called the LWL Museum of Art and Culture, I think. So, it's a relatively new museum here in Münster, and I think I love the building. It's then they have like a collection, and then they have different themed exhibitions from time to time. And the one I went yesterday was about Picasso and Kirchner. So Pablo Picasso, I think I don't have to introduce him. Ernst Ludwig Kirchner was an artist, a German artist who I did not know before, and he was apparently very inspired by Picasso. So there's lots of elements in his art indicating that he took Picasso as an inspiration. He also had some weird ways of trying to cover a bit of too much of inspiration, because he one piece that was obviously inspired by Picasso. I wouldn't say he stole the style or anything, or like he didn't steal ideas or so, but he definitely took some of the subjects Picasso worked with to make his own version of them. And he dated, for example, he dated back one artwork, so it would seem that if it wasn't inspired by Picasso's original work, so he dated it back to 1 year before the Picasso original was published or was finished. So yeah, it's interesting. So copycats were a thing in the early 20th century already. I don't know if you could call him a copycat. I actually liked his style, and I found it really cool to find out about him. And I think it wasn't necessary for him to feel like standing in some kind of shadow, or to be afraid of being called a copycat if he would have had more confidence in himself, I guess. And there's two paintings that I really liked that he made, that I took pictures of, and that I think could be cool. Cool points to do my old master's redrawing, or two pieces that I could do this with. This one is called Alpine Path After the Thunderstorm. I'm going to download maybe a good photo or a scan, so we can really see this better. So this is the first. Okay. And the second one is this one here. Which is called Burg on Fehmarn, a castle on the island of Fehmarn, German island, that I also liked. So as you see, like, these landscape paintings are things that always attract my eye, because I just love how, or I just love to discover these landscapes and buildings through the eyes of artists that are long gone, and you can still like see this scene through their eyes, which is like more than 100 years, or has been more than 100 years ago. I find that always really fascinating, and this is the stuff. So this is from 1912, and it's over 100 years old. It's really cool. I don't know what that castle looks like today, but the abstraction is also far enough that gives me some nice room to interpret a couple of things, you know. So there's not everything is rendered out completely, so I have room to put something of my own into this scene. So I think this definitely triggers my interest here. Let me know which one you like better. I think I just downloaded. Here's the first one as probably as a photograph. Unfortunately a bit low resolution, but I didn't get a better one that quickly. There's only really low resolution images of this, so yeah. I think one of these could be a cool starting point for my zine, and I also don't have like a specific theme in my mind yet, so this could become a landscape themed direction, or this could also be like old masters repaintings in general. I also thought about like only focusing on this exhibition, some kind of like tribute zine to this exhibition, I'm not sure about that. I think that is something I want to find out in the process. Well, and then I have also a piece from the master himself here that I really liked, that I didn't know before. I mean, Picasso made crazy amounts of art. That's impossible to know everything, but I'm surprised that this didn't catch my attention before. This is called Barcelona at Night, I think. Yes, Barcelona by Night from 1903. It's a very low contrast picture because, of course, it's a night. It shows a night scene, so naturally we have lower contrast. And this is the same thing as I mentioned before. This leaves lots of room for interpretation. It's not too detailed. I also made a video. This one, I think. I like that we have like a cool color contrast here, like a warm and cold contrast. In the street here we have these buildings. I love the perspective that we are looking at this from probably a rooftop or so. It's a very interesting perspective. Could be challenging as well because you know my style is very detailed. So it's possible that this is a big of a challenge because I would want to add details to the buildings which Picasso didn't. So there's potentially lots of work in this, but I love this very much still. Let me download a proper picture of that as well. Yeah, this one is not too shabby in resolution. Picasso also has several of these rooftop paintings, as far as I know, at least like more of these. So it's interesting. Yeah, this looks like a scan, maybe. Very nice piece. It really draws you nice. I love the perspective. It's really cool. So yeah, could be worth exploring further. Now the music is really gone, right? Okay. Yeah, so that's that. And then I walked into the collection, or the ongoing collection they have there in this museum, and I found a couple other pieces that I really loved. I think one Baroque painting, this one here. Do I have the name of this? Please tell me I didn't forget to... here it is. It's from Anselm Feuerbach from 1864, called Paolo and Francesca. And this one here, I really stared at this one for a while. I stood there just looking at the composition with this these stairs going up and the characters kind of separated from the whole scene in this corner, and the vegetation surrounding them. It's beautiful. I love this a lot. Like how the whole light works with strong contrast between the characters and the rest, like the botanical situation surrounding them. So a big fan of this, and this has almost like a kind of a graphical composition to me. Come on. So it's almost divided into geometrical shapes, kind of, especially through this these stairs kind of separating or cutting through the whole image. So I think this would be one I would love to remake in my style. And then I saw this statue of Maria Magdalena. I don't know who the original maker of this is. It just says Masters of some kind of masters, probably unknown, who actually made this. And I found this figure, this character so interesting. It almost looks like a character from Star Wars. It's with the whole hairstyle and all the decorative elements and in the clothing and in the outfit. It's really beautiful. And I didn't think about redrawing the sculpture, but this instantly made me want to draw this. So that could be like a joker for later on, I don't know. But very interesting. Hey Tamzilla, you just came in. Is there a specific theme or is it any ideas? Okay, you mean for your own zine? Like, when you want to go for making your zine for Zinuary? In that case, any theme or any topic is completely fine. You can do everything you like. I wrote down a couple of prompts in my prompt list, and I also wrote down some ideas. Sorry, my brain stopped working for a second. I wrote down some ideas for what you could do. So to give you some pointers, if you don't have an idea just yet, or if you need some input or inspiration, and you'll find that on the Discord server in the pinned messages on the Zinuary channel. So there's a whole list of possible ideas you can or you could try that are open to steal. So if you go for this message here, so here in this message you have like a whole list of directions you could take this. So yeah, okay, so I don't know, you guys don't have any input for me or any favorites, so I would say I think I would try to start with the Picasso, with the Barcelona thing, because that feels like I think that was the first picture in the whole, or artwork in the whole exhibition, where I stood in front of it and thought, okay, this is something I would want to repaint, even though it's a challenge, but I want to try it. So I'm going to show you what my first steps in this are, and then I can take it from there and see if that works at all, or I'm skilled enough to do this. So we'll see. Yeah, no worries, no worries. You didn't interrupt. That's a very good question, and I'm happy to help. So first of all, I think it's important to outline the main elements, and I'm not going to trace this because I think this is very important to me. I don't want to trace the original, but I want to really start with a completely empty canvas. Let's see if the ratio is actually correct like this. No, it's not. It's not. Maybe it's not too small. Let me see. Yeah. Bit. No. Let me do this size. I want to always have 4K pixels on the short size of the canvas minimum. That's like the minimum of size I want for my images, because this usually gives me the opportunity to print this in larger sizes if I'm if I decide that I want to print this at some point. Of course, you can always upscale, but if you have 4K already on the resolution, that's usually a good point to start. So we have this a street or is this? Yeah, I guess. There's lots of elements in this painting where I could just do my own thing because it's not really clear what's visible there. But I can't just draw. With my style, I can't just draw this. That's not enough. So I have to be more figurative and give it more meaning. So I think this could be these could be trees or something, but I'm not sure. I first thought that this was like a second roof and then there's a building like this, but I think it's rather a street going here and then we have like this important line somewhere here where the buildings, like the front row of buildings we can see ends. One aspect that's also very tricky is that we have, of course, different vanishing points. So we, for example, for this building here on the left, there's vanishing. Whoops. There's a vanishing point somewhere here, like very, very far away. Oh no, not so far away. Maybe, actually, yeah, no, maybe here. And then we have this building here on the right that does not use the same vanishing point. So we can't just make a one-point perspective of some sort and just go with it, but it's not going to work. But I think Picasso also did not really have clear vanishing points. So looking at this this building here, it feels like as if he did take this a little bit more like with artistic freedom, but that's okay. I mean, this is not a cubist, like one of his cubist or cubistic artworks. They also had a couple of those in the exhibition, and I thought about redrawing one of these as well. It would be very interesting to translate them in my style. Maybe something to actually do later on. but I really couldn't figure it out in the first moment how to do this transfer from the cubist style into what I do. So I rather go for something more with a more realistic perspective. Quantum Bat. Hi, good to see you. Oh, you have me in your ears on your walk. That's a good idea. I don't know how helpful just my voice is while I'm drawing here, but of course, if you enjoy that, if you enjoy me talking, that's great. And I'm glad to hear that. Now I feel the need to comment what I do here, which something I don't do all the time. Sometimes I just draw and shut my mouth, but now I feel like I should not do that too much. I liked your purple. What was that? Some kind of animal or so. Let me quickly look. What's like a bat? Is that a bat? Because I mean, given your beanie baby bat, yeah, perfect. No, I won't change anything for you. It's all right. I'm not going to change too much. So that's okay. I sometimes feel like I should talk more while I'm working on my drawings on stream. Sometimes there's like, if no one interacts with me, so if there's no comments coming in or questions, of course, like, there's not much to talk about all the time. And I sometimes feel like I should just explain more what I do or so, but I think sometimes people just like to watch and lurk. Anyway. Oh, bats are cool, so I totally understand that you like them. I definitely get that. I always appreciate seeing them outside when they take their turns and do their cool, quirky flying moves. I always enjoy that. There's a free zoo in Chicago that has a bat cave. Oh, darker than the darkest darkroom I ever worked in. Now I wonder what kind of dark rooms you've been working in. Worth letting your eyes adjust. Yeah, I love their moves and how they. So when it's like when it's dusk light outside, like in some kind of after, like the half hour after the blue hour when it's really dark already, but you still can't see a lot. I always think they have like, they look like schemes moving around, but you can't really grasp them with your eyes. So they always give you just enough time to see that they are there, but never enough to really figure out what's going on and how they move. And I love this kind of like the mystical thing somehow. I mean, of course, you know how they look and everything, but they don't really completely reveal themselves to you. And I've spent a couple of summer evenings sitting on the terrace, drinking a beer and trying to catch, not literally catch, but catch them with my eyes. Oh, okay. Film development. Okay, well, yeah. I had different I had different dark rooms in my mind. Okay, there's these dark rooms as well, of course. So I'm really curious how I will interpret these areas here where there's no details. It's just, you know, when you're looking at a night scene, so at night, and your eyes try to adjust to the darkness, and you look at a street scene with very little light sources or very low light in general, you have this noise in your eyes. I don't know if everyone actually has that, but I do. I sometimes feel like it's some kind of noise, and you're looking at a surface that at first sight looks like it's like mono-colored, and then you stare at it for a while, and out of the noise you see structures and textures building up. And I think Picasso really got this good in this painting. I think this is the exact effect that your eyes give your brain, or how your eyes try to translate what they see to your brain at night. Of course, 1911 or so, 1912. No, 1903 or so. I don't know. Way back, I think there were definitely less light sources in a city like Barcelona, so you could have this effect like in the middle of the city, probably. That is not possible today. Yeah. It's interesting how he created this kind of noise in the areas like this here on the sides of the painting, and also here in these areas. But I want to interpret more detail into this, so it's going to be interesting. Yeah, muddy colors is a good way of explaining this. I also thought about bringing this scene into a modern environment. This is what I made with, maybe you saw in my YouTube video where I introduced what Zinuary is. Maybe you saw the Mer painting that I have used for one Old Masters 3 drawing, and I took this Vermeer scene and made some cyberpunk futuristic out of it, and I've also been thinking about doing this here, but I'm not sure yet, so I think I will decide that later, but doesn't matter for now because I want to get the whole scene and the composition right for now, but I feel like it would also be interesting to take this into another cultural environment. So this is originally Barcelona, so why not turn this into Tokyo or whatever kind of city. Also something I could try later on. Right, I will take a short break. Gonna take a leak and then we'll continue scribbling this. I'll be back in a minute. All right. So what other city could I turn this into, or what fantasy city? I mean, some Japanese vibe would work pretty well. Yeah, I think this at this point there's not so much indicating where this is, so it has, of course, a temperature. I think here in the background the buildings look like they're made from some kind of sandstone, or at least like bright bricks that you find in certain areas of the world. But apart from that, it could be in many places. I think it could be Berlin just as well as Barcelona. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like that to me. This is, it could be the sea, right? I'm not sure. Could it be a tiny bit of, I mean, these are some mountains maybe, and this could be the Mediterranean Sea. Well, then that's not brilliant. But I'm not sure right now. This is just another building, or I want it to be the sea, so that's we can't ask Picasso anyway, so Pablo, whatever this was for you, I think this, I'm going to say that this is a tiny glimpse at the Mediterranean Sea. Just, I don't know, it just occurred to me. Thierry, hello. Good to see you, mate. Thanks very much. Well, the original is definitely great. Mine is hopefully turning into something good. Eventually, we'll see. Yeah, I'm very positive that this was a good choice for my old master's redrawing. So I'm basically just jumping from back and forth between different parts of this scene to add more details step by step. I'm trying to not focus on one area too much because I want to distribute the details for now. This is the same technique I also use for outlining later on, that everything kind of keeps a consistent amount of details. So the right lower corner here is very tricky because there's so much noise, so much muddy colors, giving me just a very low amount of information what's happening there, how the buildings are. If this is a large building that just continues here like this, or if there's a second building. I mean, if I can't figure it out, I just have to go with what I think is working best. And I think I want this is the 2 buildings. I mean, here you probably make out a little edge between 2 buildings, or a little gap. Uh-oh, I'm getting hungry. It's not dinner time yet. I wonder what that is. Is that like a bed sheet or something that's hanging out to dry or so? I don't know. Probably going to turn it in one of those half-open windows, or Probably a sunshade that was left down in the night. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that would probably be very Barcelona-esque. But it just looks, the shape of it is so weird. Same with this one here. So this one here definitely looks like some kind of sunshade, but the other ones are like this. So yeah, still maybe also probably some artistic freedom that old Pablo took there. Who knows? But we can do the same and just turn this into whatever we like. Yeah, exactly. Maybe there's some wind, a bit of a breeze. Definitely possible. The windows, I might look up some... If I decide to keep this in Barcelona and not like go a bit wilder on my interpretation and put this place into another cultural environment or another city or whatever, I think I'm going to look up some pictures of buildings from that time. So I'm getting the windows right, because I think the style of the windows is always very characteristic of an era or a place. I mean, the whole buildings are, of course, but the windows always or often have lots of details that you can work with and play with. So that might be fruitful research. Should I leave the trees here or should I put something else? I'm not sure right now. The boring, the building on the left looks a bit boring now. Maybe I want to add something there to make it look a little bit special. But I'm not sure what. Could be some plants here or so. Yeah, the roof is big white space right now. I think it works in Picasso's original because there's lots of texture. So you see there's, within these muddy kind of colors, there's lots of nuance and like there's some rusty reds even in there, these blues as well. So I think that's why it works. But right now in the scribble here, it just looks a bit plain, a bit boring. But the billboard could be a nice idea indeed. I just don't want to obstruct this part here, but it could also be like this. Maybe it doesn't have to be like crazy large. I think that would be a cool idea. Spaceport is also a great idea. I love this way of thinking, turning it into some kind of cyberpunk or futuristic science fiction thing. I just guessed that it would take lots of attention, so I didn't want to direct too much attention to this this area. But the billboard is something I could definitely see here. Maybe some kind of a neon thing as well. At least it's I mean, after all, it's a night scene, so something that gives another light source could be nice. And then there's there's the rocket starting. So that's the spaceport. Yeah. Now the question is what should be on here. It's Heineken. So Heineken ad. Yeah, roof garden is also a good idea. Could be both actually. Could be like be hinted at least here. So yeah. And maybe this is a shop that is closed. This could be a bar here, with some nice warm light shining on to the street. Yeah. Okay, cool. I like where this is going. I think I'm going to take a break now and get some food because I'm getting really hungry. That's always the bad thing about starting too late in the afternoon, that I'm getting hungry and can't avoid that. But I don't have any snacks here, so I didn't come prepared. So that's probably a beginner mistake I just made. But I think this is some cool starting point to set up my own interpretation and my own style to set that up on, and to continue outlining and turning this into my own next time. So I'm going to stream next week once again to show you how I work on this and to how I approach the details here. So right now it's basically very much of obviously of a copy of the Picasso, just pretty one-on-one take as a scribble. But I think this will get very interesting once I get into the details and once I add little differences to the original here and there in the outlining part. Okay, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this stream, and if you got feedback from me on your own work earlier, I hope you found that helpful, or if you just watched me giving other people feedback, of course I hope that was helpful as well. And if you want to share something, like your own work for Zinuary, please do that on the Discord, and I will also ask for stuff that I can review in my next stream next week. So feel free to add your work there, and I will take a look at that. And as we say in German, give you my mustard on that. that's how we say, or that's a way of saying that I'm giving you my opinion on something. So yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Hope you had a good time on the stream. I hope you enjoyed watching this on Substack. First stream on Substack ever. I'm not sure if I will keep my stream here or if I will move back to Twitch for now. But first of all, I'm going to try to include the chat into the stream chat, because that's a bit annoying that the Substack messages can't be displayed on the stream, on the video. Take a look at that. And yeah, let me know how you like this. If you enjoy watching this on Substack compared to YouTube or Twitch, would love to get some feedback. And well, see See you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Cheers. Thanks very much, Jock. Thanks for the nice feedback. Appreciate that.